To start, we are going to create a new canvas. To do this, we need to go up to the menu and go to File, New. And a dialog box will appear. There it is. Let's name this new canvas New _ Canvas. Below that, you're going to see presets. These are custom page sizes that Photoshop already has for you. US paper size, for example, is 8.5 by 11 at 300, and photo is 5 by 7 at 72. So you might want to explore those. But what we want for this project is a width of 10, and that's inches. Over here, where you see inches, you might see pixels. Make sure you choose inches. You'll see centimeters, millimeters, points, a variety of things. But as photographers today, we're going to choose inches. Next up, a height. We want to set in a height of 8. So we'll have an 8 by 10 inch canvas. Below that, we have a resolution of 240. You also have pixels by inches or pixels by centimeters. We're working in inches, so let's go with 240 pixels per inch. If you are going to print out to a lab, you might want to choose a resolution of 300. If you're going to go onto the internet, you might want to choose a resolution of 72. But for our inkjet printers, we want a resolution of 240. Next up, we have color mode. We are photographers, so we want to work in the RGB color space. But you'll see we have grayscale, which is black and white, bitmap, which is 2 colors, white and black, CMYK. CMYK has a smaller color gamut. It's used for printing magazines and books and postcards and things like that. You might be asked to convert your RGB files into CMYK. Say no. Let the print house do that. They do a better job of it than we as photographers can do. And then there's LAB color. We will use that during the semester for some techniques, but it's not a color space that we will work in for a long period of time. So RGB color is the space that you will be working in most of the time. Next up, we have a choice over here, 8-bit, 16-bit, or 32-bit. For this project, let's go with 8-bit. And as a matter of fact, everything you turn into me this semester, please turn it in at 8-bit. You might be working in 16-bit if you are using camera raw files. 16-bit has a greater color gamut, which means there's more color depth, more room to maneuver and manipulate your photograph. 8-bit, though, is half the size of a 16-bit file. So you'll notice over here, we have image size 13.2. When I change that 8-bit to 16-bit, it's going to jump up to 26.4. So because we're turning things in online or over the internet, 8-bit will cut your file size in half, and you'll get all the information you need to know how to work Photoshop, and I'll be able to see that you understand what you're doing. Lastly, 32-bit. Now, later in your photo world life, you might be working with HDR images, high dynamic range. And part of that process starts in the 32-bit world. You can't even see 32-bit colors displayed on any of the devices that we have today. But that's today. Down the road, things may change. So that's just not a space that we work, so we won't be there this semester, but turn in 8-bit to me. 8-bit for this project will work fine. Next up, background contents. You have colors options here as well. A white background, background color. And if you look over here in the tool panel, you'll see I have gray as my foreground and white as my background. But that could be any color. It could be blue, it could be green, it could be whatever your imagination is. You might want to choose that at some point. But today, I want you to pick transparent. And then there's other. Other takes you to the color picker. And then that's where you can choose any color you want on the fly at this point. Transparent, we're going to be able to tell that we have a transparent file because we're going to see a checkerboard pattern. We'll see that in a few seconds here, or maybe a minute. Next up, we have advanced, and we have color profile here. Remember earlier we set up our working space to Adobe RGB 1998, and that's what it's indicating. But sometimes you might want to choose sRGB or ProPhoto or any of these other options. But today, let's go with Adobe RGB 1998. And then we have pixel aspect ratio. We're photographers. We will work in the square pixel aspect ratio. You'll see there are others here, and these are more related to video. So if you're a video student, you might want to explore those for your projects in that world. But photographer, square pixel. Well, right now we are all set to hit OK, and a new canvas appears. See the checkerboard? That's our transparent canvas. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see layers. You'll see layer 1. You'll see checkerboard there. It's a transparent canvas. I will see you in a minute with what we're going to do next.